Well, Michael Wolff is a Trump biographer. He's also Sky News' US election commentator. Great to have you here.
Nice to be here.
I've been looking forward to our chat today, I have to say, because you have had a ringside seat in, what many people see as a trial of the century with the Donald Trump trial.
Well, I could say I've had a ringside seat for the last 8 years.
Yeah,
so, it's...
Exactly. If anyone's going to tell us what is going on inside Donald Trump's head, I feel like you're the man to do it. What's it been like, at the trial?
Well, it's been fascinating to hear this story, which we have heard again and again and again over the years, now laid out in a prosecutorial fashion, and they've done a great job. So it's been riveting, and it's always impossible to say what the jury is going to conclude, but it does seem like he is headed for a conviction.
Wow.
But having said that, and one of the interesting things about Donald Trump is he recognizes that the jury, whatever the jury decides, is not the final decision. The final decision will happen on November 5th. So for him, this is all about over the heads, out of the court. He may be forced to be in court, but it's all about out of the court, over the heads of the jury, and with the perfect understanding that if he becomes the president on November 5th, this trial, in what is likely to be a criminal conviction, means nothing.
You see, it's interesting, isn't it? You're saying that he's got his eyes on the prize of the election, right? And what's your sense on how the trial could impact that, or not? Is he kind of Teflon Trump? Will anything...
Well, yes. I mean, it's again and again and again over the course of 8 years, all of those things that we've looked at and said, well, this will derail him. This will surely finish him off, including losing an election. And it doesn't. So nobody knows. And this is, a potential president, a candidate for the presidency, a former president, has never been convicted of a felony before. We have no model for what this means. So many voters have said in many polls they would have a hard time voting for a convicted felon. The only, and which I think is philosophically true, except that in the world of Donald Trump, where there'll be so many other dramas between this possible conviction and election day, you forget.
You say that you've been like an observer of Donald Trump for 8 years, right? And I guess I'm quite interested to know what you think is going on in his head. Like, how has his demeanor been through the trial?
He's just a man of conflict, combat conflict. Remember, he spent 14 years as a reality television star. Yeah. What's reality television about? Only conflict. The more conflict, the more attention, the higher your ratings are. And he sees politics and his own life like that. When I first interviewed Donald Trump in 2016, before he had the nomination, when it was still preposterous that he would become president, I said to him, okay. I said, why are you doing this? And he was very straightforward. He said, to be the most famous man in the world.
Wow.
So this is all part of it. This trial, even if it goes the worst it could possibly go for him, gives him more attention, makes him more famous. Joe Biden had to, run out yesterday, and they had to arrange, let's do a debate, because no one cares about Joe Biden, or no one pays attention to Joe Biden. It's all Donald Trump. It's
true when you sort of say about how, back in 2016, when no one thought he was a serious contender. I mean, I remember, thinking, hang on, this is the guy from The Apprentice. What the hell? He's running for presidency. What's going on?
Ridiculous.
Given the fact that there is a real possibility he could be the next president of the United States.
A very real possibility.
What do you think his opinion is of Britain, of the United Kingdom?
Donald Trump really does not, unlike most presidents who either have or believe they have to have a coherent world view, he doesn't. The amount of time that he has spent thinking about world issues, it's mostly has to do with his resentment that world issues might be taking headlines away from him. So I don't, and when he becomes the president, and he has become the president before, and you know, he was very happy to meet the Queen, very happy to have an opportunity to use his golf course in Scotland. But beyond that, in that same interview, actually, when he told me that he wanted to be the most famous man in the world, that was 2 weeks before the Brexit vote. And I said to him then, "What's your feeling about Brexit?" And he said, "What?" So one of my distinctions in life is I am the person who told Donald Trump what Brexit is.
I love that. So you literally explained Brexit to Donald Trump.
There, and he could not, as I explained this, have been less interested.
There you go. Thank you so much. Always a pleasure to have you on the Politics Hub.
Anytime.